that I had, a conversation that I had with John Kowit of a project called The Hill. John was good enough to sit down about a week ago and talk about his project and its genesis and his superpower and working with Mike Slomo Brenner and all of those things, including how he's doing in South Africa. John's a Philadelphia-based singer-songwriter. Here's The Hill on UHFM.
I just want to reach out one time, hear your voice, and know that I meant something to you. If I saw you, you'd see something, something's missing. That I left with you one morning. How could I have wanted more than? How could I have wanted more than? Bottles by the doorstep, they told stories when you lived here with me. I go dreaming in the morning. It's the best time for me to see you again. How could I have wanted more than? How could I have wanted more than? Wanted more than you. I was so young in my mind, I was circled in all of this doubt. I was trying to get on through and trying to figure this out. Awful, awful quiet. The upstairs and the downstairs now feel the same. How could I have wanted more than? How could I have wanted more than? How could I have wanted more than you?
From an album called Get in Line, that was The Hill on 44 Records, and I am so happy to have John Kowit with me here for an interview and maybe some songs. John, welcome to Modern Twang.
Great to be here, Gus. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
It's such a thrill to have you. And the song More Than You is from a project called Get in Line. As we said, it is an unlikely project, according to your website and your materials. Can you tell us kind of how you got here at this stage of your career?
Yeah, it's quite a nutty story. I had been writing songs for a lot of years, and but I was behind the scenes of some indie label that put out some really cool records, and worked at a indie record store, and really never played my songs for anyone. In fact, maybe just a few girlfriends over the years heard them and tolerated the songs. And then I decided, you know what, I want to realize this, and by really incredible fate, I reconnected in the strangest way with Mike Slow-Mo Brenner, who I knew at age 10, and literally have had very little contact with him since then, although I've been a fan of his. And he agreed to work on one song, the song Dent, which is the first track. And it went really well. We knew it, but we both knew it kind of sounded right. And I said, you want to work on some more? And we just kept going, and we did 12. And so, just lucky to have some of his talent work on the record.
Yeah, that's interesting. My listeners may not know that they know the work of Mike's Slow-Mo Brenner, but yeah. One of the groups that I play quite often is called Mirah, and he was with them, I believe, right from the very beginning, from their excellent 1998 Black Dog debut album called "Let's Cut the Crap and Hook Up Later on Tonight." So you were friends with him when you were a child?
I was a big fan of Mirah. And Mike's also famous for the work with Jason Molina. And right now he's working with two bands, Wild Pink and Aaron West and the Roaring Twenties. He also works with Max, but he just does a lot of great work. But yeah, we were really best friends in a summer when we were 10 years old, but it was before the internet, so we never kept in touch. The very next time I saw him, I was in the audience of my favorite band growing in my 20s. They're called Flight of Mavis. And all of a sudden, they brought him on as the new guitarist. They were a three-piece that became a four-piece. And then I reintroduced myself, but then I didn't see him again for a long time. And then as I was deciding to do this, by incredible luck, I bumped into him, and he agreed to work on the one song, and then we continued.
Somebody said it's an album crafted with love, luck, and the kind of musical alchemy that only true passion can produce. You said you had a bunch of songs kind of written, and you'd only played them for certain girlfriends, some of which might have been then later subject of songs, I suppose.
Yeah. I'll try one. Yeah.
How was it to work? How was it to work with Slow-Mo?
It's really. He produced the record. He played the lap steel, pedal steel, bass, and then he would bring in the other contributors who were some of the most talented musicians in the Philadelphia area. They've been in some of the acts I'm sure you're familiar with, and so he really drove the ship. I had these songs. Most of the songs are new. But I did have a few that I brought back from earlier. And I guess what started me on this project was I realized my new stuff. I was like, I think I hit another level with songwriting, and I just wanted to hear it out. But I did bring back some old ones too. In fact, one is from the 90s. So, so it goes back. This seems like a long time ago, but it really isn't. Right.
Is it, John? Right. I mean, really? Come on.
Well, it's in a way, yeah.
End Session said the album is a seesaw of emotions and recommends that you listen to the whole thing completely. And I think that's about right. It does have, it says seesaw, but it almost might be seasons of emotions. And I'm thinking of songs that evoke a time and a place. I'd like to play that song, Dent. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
So Dent is really, making big changes in one's life and feeling like, the direction seems like it's going in circles sometimes. That's what that song's about. It's about how hard it is, and I think the chorus kind of says it all. Can't make a dent in my world.
So it leads off the album. And so let's listen to this song. It's called Dent on UHFM.
Running from myself, like it's someone else. Moments seem to swallow my feet. It's like I'm standing while they grab their seat. I'm skipping the rocks again. Coming right back at me. I just left a note on my door. It's a bottle that's trying to show. Well, I can't make a dent in my world. I can't make a dent in my world. I can't make a dent in my world. I can't make the wind was howling away at my face, tugging, telling me it's too late. Memories trying to find their own fate. I can't make a dent in my world. I can't make a dent in my world. I can't make a dent in my
Thanks for tuning in to these 3 hours of freeform adventure in Modern Twang. My name is Gus, and I am on the line today with John Kowit. He is one of the main guys in a project called The Hill. And The Hill, in addition to having some new music out and working on new music, has an excellent new album released on 44 Music back in April. It's called Get in Line, and we just heard a song called Dent. John, let me ask you, because I've read some reviews of the album, and it does say that, you know, these songs, while there can be a classic vibe to them, they also take it to a different direction, you know, take it to a different season, if you will. I hear a lot of things all the time, and of course, you and I both listen to a lot of music. What were you listening to and what were you thinking about when you recorded the album? Because it's riveting, it's spare, and it leaves, you know, as some of the best albums do, it leaves room for imagination.
Well, I really appreciate the kind words, and we've been fortunate to get some great reviews. You know, it's very kind of everyone. I'm just a music nut. Someone who had a big record collection growing up. Shared a bedroom with my brother, and we collected albums. And so, you know, I grew up when I was a little kid listening to Neil Young, Grateful Dead, Dylan, Buffalo Springfield, all the Cat Stevens. I some probably more than my brother. I would move towards some of the softer things like Bread and Seals and Profs and things like that. But as I got older, some of the bands that really I think have the most influence are the Silos, the Feelies, Yo La Tengo, REM, and so Wilco, and so that stuff. I don't know how it comes out. It just, people that are songwriters, probably can appreciate this. It just happens. It's some sort of a song kind of writes itself. But I guess it's a stew of music that over the years and a lot of that great 70s rock is a big part of it. Also, another songwriter said, to mention Jackson Browne and Jules Shear, who is probably my favorite songwriter of all time.
Really, Jules Shear. He did some work with the band right at the very end, I do believe, of their post-Robbie career. Yeah, you could tell a guy who's worked in a record store and who's had a big vinyl collection, that's for sure, by talking. So I know you play piano. What did you do on the album too? It's because when we say it's The Hill, it's a collaboration for sure, but you're the man.
Yeah, so I wrote all the songs. I play guitar and sing on every song except one. Setting Sun, I don't sing on, and in fact, my guitar that was originally there, we realized it sounds better without it. So strangely, on the project The Hill, that one song, the founder of it. I wrote the song. I didn't participate in that one, but everything else, I played the rhythm guitar and piano, some piano, and I sing. Then there are a couple piano tracks that I did, and then was fortunate that Mike was able to add some lap bass and other guitars. Also, there was some violin that was added by a former bandmate of his from a band called The Low Road. I don't know if you ever that band, but that was his first band, and so she did a wonderful job as well. So.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about collaborators, but but there you are. The name of this radio program is Modern Twang, and so it's for us the album is a natural because there's lap and pedal steel, and it just works its way. It insinuates, right? I think it's one of those records that bears repeated listening, and is enriched by that. The next song I wanted to play was the title track, right? Get in Line. You want to say a little bit about the genesis of that?
Yeah, so Get in Line is definitely, I guess the focus of the song is trying to prove some doubters wrong, realizing that you're taking a little bit of a strange turn in life, and and it's really about this project, trying to pursue something and realizing as you go along the way there are people that are kind of rooting against you a little bit, or certainly not encouraging. But there are people that are concerned. What are you doing? At this stage of life, you're putting out your first record. Are you out of your mind? And it's about all these people. Just get it. Just get in line. You're all gonna just tell me I'm crazy, but I'm doing this anyway.
Yeah, that's awesome. At a certain point in your life, you figure out, man, if you don't do it now, it is not going to get done.
I definitely, as a fan of music, what was happening is as it was coming together, I had to realize it more because that's how when the collaboration with Mike was taking shape, I just kept going.
Awesome. Here's the title track to a record called Get in Line by The Hill on UHFM.
Falling apart at the seams. It's not what you think that it means. I think I told you my dream doesn't matter much. Well, lately, without warning, you come at me with some words. Well, I got a light on, it's a candle. Can you wait now with your concerns? With every
from an unlikely project that one reviewer called the North Star for modern country music, guiding us through the night with its luminous songs. That was The Hill in a song called Get in Line. And I'm here with John Kowit. And John, I ask everyone this. It's a tough one. What's your superpower?
Well, it's both a superpower, but it's also a curse. Empathy. I have a tremendous amount of empathy for others, and while it's helped me, I think, be a decent human being in a lot of respects, it also gets me kind of sucked into a lot of emotion, and feeling things that maybe I get dragged down by, and I think it comes out in the songwriting. So I try to just put myself in those shoes and feel those things, but I kind of can't help it. It just kind of happens.
Empathy plays a fairly big role in a song that I believe we're going to play in just a moment. So yeah, you do speak of empathy and implicitly and explicitly in your songwriting. Hey, listen, it's a unique project. As you said, it was lucky. It was a labor of love for you, and you've worked with Slow-Mo and some other folks in Philadelphia. I know we're going to listen to a new song very soon, but what's next for this project?
Well, we have I've recorded with Mike a bunch of what are called scratch demos, and we just released the one single, which I think you're going to play in a bit, but we have some more recording to do, and then I think another album will come from this. I think just kind of keep going. I'm enjoying the process. I love the creative process, and I like kind of having that open canvas and starting again with a fresh song and a fresh concept, and just keep going with it.
I know that you haven't toured or played an awful lot of shows. Is that something that you think might happen?
I think it'll eventually happen. It's one of those things. Mike is tours with a bunch of bands, and he's kind of would be the key partner in getting him. So he's got quite a schedule. So he's touring with Wild Pink and Aaron West and the Roaring Twenties and Maxwell Stern and people like that. So, but that would be a big part. But strangely, I think the first gig will probably be outside the United States. Seems like the traction has been interesting in some other countries. So,
well, let's. I mentioned it on a previous show that I did, but I believe that the song we're going to play now, "Let the Storm Pass," may have debuted at number 2 in streaming in South Africa. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was came as quite a surprise. You can see in some of the data from the streaming data that we've been getting a pretty good amount of listeners, South Africa and Australia and Canada. And it was a complete surprise. We're not doing any marketing down there. Now we're going to, because all of a sudden we debuted at number 2, but there was no effort to target them with anything, and somehow number 2 stream, number 4 most downloaded song. It's just a wild thought. I kind of feel like the movie Searching for Sugar Man or something. I don't know if you know the documentary. It's
so strange but we live in the digital world, right? And so you might as well. Other than if you did have to gig there first, it's not like going to Trenton or anything like that, right?
No, that's quite a trip, and that would cost a decent amount of money. But it's one of those things that would be, obviously very cool to do.
We do see that. We do say that quite a bit. I play a band called the DeLines, and they can't, buy a cup of coffee here, and they're winning, major awards over in Europe. So yeah.
Yeah,
so
no, it's wild with the how music is being listened to around the world differently than ever before. Yeah.
Right. Well, our time is coming to a close. But John Kowit, I wanted to thank you so much for spending time here on Modern Twang.
Thank you, Gus. You are the first champion of the record. While we got those great reviews on terrestrial radio, you are it. And now we've been fortunate to get some others, but we'll be forever grateful.
Well, thank you very much. I did not know that, but I'm glad, and I look forward to hearing your new work. And thank you so much for being with us. From a brand new single, a self-released work, here is a song called "Let the Storm Pass" on UHFM.
I don't have the words, and I won't try to make you laugh, but this has you going down that same old path. Such a sweetheart that never leaves the house, 'cause it gets broken every time it's out. I feel the energy changing in the room. There's my empathy that you'll never use. Can you let this storm pass? Can you let this storm pass? How much do I ask? Let this storm just pass. When the silence gets this loud, it is darker than the darkest cloud. I feel the energy changing in the room. There's my empathy that you'll never use. Can you let this storm pass? Can you let this storm pass? How much do I ask? Let this storm just pass. I don't know what else I can do. Can you let this storm pass? Let this storm pass. Can you let this storm pass? Let this storm pass. How much do I ask? How much do I ask? Let this storm just pass. Let this storm just pass.
That was The Hill, their new single called Let the Storm Pass. And thanks to John Kowit for being so generous with his time and sitting down with us. Look forward to hearing some more stuff coming up. Thanks for tuning in to these 3 hours of freeform adventure.